Hi, this is Koiro with another installment in my Christmas calendar series. And this time we are going to look at something slightly newer than we have done in some of the episodes, but it's still a very old and special beast, and quite the proof that they don't make them as they used to do. And that's not always a bad thing. What we are going to look at today is this strange creature here. And this is actually my Acer Anywhere computer. I do think that this is a 386SX, but I'm not really sure. I have never turned this on. I have owned this machine for quite some years, and I will give you a quick run through the machine before we try to start it. Yes. And this is the machine, and it actually states on the lid Acer Anywhere. And they actually scribe an anywhere with like warehouse and stuff. We can start at the back side of this machine. You have keyboard, probably combined keyboard and mouse interface. You have a blocked out slot for a modem. You have a parallel port. You have this might be for the floppy connector. There is just one parallel port, and you have a serial port. And if this was the floppy, then this is the parallel, and you have one VGA card, and you have one proprietary slot here for a docking station. And as you can see here, there was a lid over these back in the day, but it's broken off. And on this side of the machine, it's not much to see. You have the power supply connector down there. On this side, you have a 1.44 floppy drive. You have the lights, you have the on-off switch, and you have the Acer logo. And on this side, there is nothing much. And I can open this machine now for you. And you will see at first glimpse it looks like a normal laptop from back in the day. But they actually have taken a leaf from the page of the Olivetti we reviewed earlier. And you actually have a detachable keyboard on this. And this keyboard is actually a standard PS2 keyboard that has this connection inside here. And also inside here you have some compartments. This is for the battery pack, and this battery pack is of course a 12 volt, and it's NiCads. So this will need to go. I can't see any sign of corrosion so far, and that's good. And this is the carrying handle from the front of the machine, and this is the real sturdy thing with the metal brackets. And this lid here, it actually was a small screw. We can try to see what's behind this. If there is some other leaky battery and stuff, we need to see it. And this was actually just for memory. You have down here, you have SIM memory slots, or it might be SIPs, I am not sure. It's at least 4 of them. I will just put this back on. And I can put the keyboard also back in. Like so. And we can look at the bottom of the machine to see if it reveals what power we should feed this strange breeden. And it states Acer 1100 LX, and it says 18 volt 3.1 amperes, and nothing much else really. And they say that this is for use with the Aztec and the type number for the power supply. They actually said 18 volt. Let's open this again, and I move the camera like so. And this LCD, I am not sure what it is, but I do think it is dual scan of some sort, because you both have the contrast and the backlight knobs here. I do have some universal power supply that I can test on this. I do have this one that I can adjust for what voltage it gives out. So I can try this one if the plug fits. And this plug is kind of special because it sits in this groove, so I have to see here. I did manage to get it to fit, but I have to push something underneath the machine in the back so the power connector does not break off, because this power connector goes out straight to the bottom like so. But I do think we will be able to operate it like so. And I can take this and turn it to 18 volt. Nothing happened yet. I do have light in the power supply. I don't have any light in this. I try to turn it on. In this video we are featuring the Acer 1100LX computer, and this is a computer I've been having for some time in storage, and I can't remember if I tried to turn this on or not when I got it, but I did not have the original power supply and it stated that it should have 18 volts, so I'm not sure if I ever did. But I did inspect the computer at least to see in what shape it was. Acer is a Taiwanese computer manufacturer founded in 1976 by Stan Shi under the name of Multitech Electronics, and the company became known as Acer in the US in 1987. And I have this American subsidiary that's called Acer of America and such, and this has been the manufacturing name for quite a few years. And over the time, Acer has been growing in the PC market with buying up other brands that have had their heyday, including Gateway and eMachines, Packard Bell, and it also acquired the right back in the day to sell the Extensa line of PCs from Texas Instruments. And the Compaq SLT, why do I bring up this in a review of Acer computer? And the answer to that should be quite obvious when we see these computers side by side. And the Acer 1100LX is meant to be a clone of this machine. The reason why these machines come along in the first place is that even though it was smaller laptops available at this time, this was meant as full desktop replaceables where they have dockings and they have detachable keyboards and so on. So this was a new line of computers where the portable computers should be the only computer you needed to get your work done. And in the Wikipedia entry of the Compaq SLT, it stated that Acer also offered a clone known as the Anywhere 1100LX. And as we can see of these pictures, the similarities are quite stunning. And they have evolved this computer over several years. Here it's stated in 1991 that they has a new version of the 1100LX computer, and this is from the InfoWorld of February 1991, where they say that they have an upgraded version with 120 megabyte hard drive up from the original 40 megabyte. Otherwise, the machines appears to be identical. Yeah, and this is from a press release where this machine was launched at Comdex. It was launched in 1990. And here it's the original version with a 40 megabyte hard drive, a 16 megahertz version of the CPU. And the machine also was featured in the PC magazine
of March 1991 where they did a more in-depth test of this. And they was quite pleased with what they discovered when they tested this machine. And to break this down, it has a 386SX on 16 MHz. It has 1 MB RAM built in, and it can be upgraded with 4 SIM slots that's easily available in a lid under the keyboard. It has DOS 3.3 as standard, and it comes with one internal floppy drive or a 40 or 120 MB hard drive. It has a black and white with 16 shades of grey VGA on 10 inches. It's not a bad screen. It has the detachable keyboard, and the keyboard you can replace with another keyboard. So it's not just detachable, it's also replaceable. And it weighs about 6 point something kilos without the power supply. And by 1990, the golden area of the service manuals is long gone. And there is almost no information available from industry sources. But there are some enthusiasts that have fixed the PCs and share their experience online, both on YouTube and on other web pages and on forums online. And the most noticeable fix that everyone has to do on these machines is to replace or upgrade or fix the $1287 clock chip. And this mod that is shown here to the right is not good for this computer, because if you fit the battery on top like is shown in this picture, it will affect with the space available inside the machine. So the proper way to do this on this machine is to attach leads here and take the battery a bit away from the chip. But this modification actually works, and I've done it on several computers. I've also done it on new chips that I have bought from China, because sometimes these chips have a run-out battery even though you order them as new on-shelf parts. And that is because the battery is activated under the production and it's no way to turn it on or off. So every second they spend on the shelf, the battery is draining.
And I actually have light. I need to turn off the overhead light. And I can try to zoom in on this screen. Yeah, it does flicker somewhat. The hard drive, I can hear it spins. It did count up to 4736 kilobyte of memories, and it says the CMOS battery is bad, and it says CMOS error, and it says Control Alt Escape for setup. And I can try to adjust. I think that will be best for the camera. And system configuration setup. There was some clicky noise in the enter key, maybe it's not working. And everything is empty here. No drive, no nothing. And that's not a good sign, because even though I think I can enter something here, I don't have and I actually think it's locked up. I will try again. It's a 386 and it's BIOS version 1.0.0R5, and it says that it's copyright from Acer from 1990 1991, and I think this machine actually was made in 1991. Now he has found one disk drive and memory size mismatch. If I hit F1 to continue, what does it do? RAM BIOS disable, and now he tries to boot from a floppy drive. Maybe I can just give him a floppy disk. Disk boot failure. Not a good sign. I can take another old floppy drive. And he tries to read some DOS. And he does load HiMem and XMS. And this is DOS 5, and the floppy drive is working and the machine itself is working, but I'm not really sure what to do with this BIOS. And as you can see on this old machine, you can enter the BIOS and the setup utility without rebooting the machine. And if I enter here the main menu, you will see that everything here is empty, and I can't enter anything. I can't move. Page down is next screen. Where do I have page down? It's the blue FN and this one. It just locks off when I go into this screen. And I actually seen this before. I've seen this with some Dallas ship computers where the clock was totally gone and the memory itself is not writable, and I can't make this boot. So this machine we actually have to take apart and do a repair on. I don't think I've seen this on other computers with other kinds of solution than the Dallas kind of chip. But the machine itself, the screen, the drive spins up. It doesn't mean that it works. The keyboard on this machine is quite yellowed, but otherwise it looks good. You can also see the plastic here on the handle. It's the same plastic as on the keyboard, but the other plastic here has not yellowed at all. But the next step for this computer is actually to take it apart and see what lurks inside this machine. And that has to be the topic for another episode. Yeah, so that's it for my episode on this old Acer laptop. And as you can see, the world has moved quite a bit smaller since this machine was all the rage. It's not many machines that made with this design, but there actually was quite a few, but they were sold as clones. If this is the same machine as this one, I'm not sure, but I especially remember some Danish PC manufacturers sold machines with this design under their own brand name. This machine actually was sold in Norway, and they probably didn't sell a lot of these, because as you can see, the bulky size of this was at this time, yeah, it was no reason to buy something as heavy as this. When this machine came to market, Sanyo NB18 that we have seen before in this series was a much sleeker device with similar capacity as this one. So that's it for this episode. Thanks for watching. Please hit like and subscribe so you won't miss my next installments. Thanks for watching.